on the Texas A&M Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome to the Aggie Football Hour, brought to you by Capital Farm Credit, a leader in agricultural financing. Also brought to you in part by Coors Light, Mountain Cold Refreshment. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit rudys.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. Twisted Tea, hard iced tea for the 12th man. Please drink responsibly. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Texas. Through it all. And by Capital Farm Credit. Together, we're better. Now, the Aggie Football Hour, brought to you by Capital Farm Credit, a leader in agricultural financing. Here's the voice of the Aggies, Andrew Monaco.
On a Saturday that was filled with strip sacks and fake punts and audibles and a whole lot of championship plays, the Aggies sweep 3 straight road SEC games. They're 9-0 and 6-0 in SEC play. It is the Aggie Football Hour with Mike Elko. It is presented by Capital Farm Credit. It is wonderful to see you all here at Rudy's. We thank you all for joining us all along the Texas A&M Sports Network, 12th Man mobile app, Varsity Network app. We're the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, Mike Elko. How are you, my friend? Howdy.
Howdy, yeah. A lot of people here tonight.
A lot of people here tonight.
A few people came out. We must be having a decent year.
I would think so. I wanted to start with you. You mentioned this on Monday, and if you could reiterate those championship plays that you talk about, Mike, and what we do in a society is, and I get with social media, and we love to promote, it's great to get the 48-yard middle screen, right?
Yeah.
It's great to see Ruben Owens take off. Those are the big plays. You need them. But all those championship plays, a little first down gain, a little Theo Mellon-Nordstrom crashing and taking that edge down to open. If you could talk about that, and is that one of the reasons why this team has the record it has?
Yeah, I think one of the things we started talking about when I got here was, we needed to become a program that started achieving things. And I think a big piece of that was like understanding where winning comes from, and we're in a day and age, and again, it is what it is, but where, social media is looking for the most exciting 4-second clip it can find to catch everybody's eye. And that 4-second clip is never somebody lifting a couple extra weights on Monday morning. It's not what you're doing in the summer at 7:30 a.m. out on the field. It's not what's happening in February when we're pushing big sleds. That's just not what people see. But those are things that play into winning football, right? And then when you go into the games, it's we talked about it on Monday, the 3rd and 2 run that E.J. Smith puts his head down and knows that it's 3rd and 2 and gets 2.5 yards, and that play will never show up on any highlight reel. It won't be on any social media. Probably half the people who watched the game didn't even notice it, but those are the plays that mean everything. The execution of the blocks, the execution of his run, that's where winning comes from. And I think we've been on an 18-month journey to kind of build that into the program, and it's still not to the level I want it to be, but it's growing and it's getting better, and it's growing and it's getting better. And I think every time we can point those things out, it only enhances the understanding of what it really is, right? And there were a lot of games no disrespect to KC because he's awesome, but there were a lot of games where some wide receiver made a really explosive play on Saturday. Half of those teams won, half of those teams lost, right? It's those other plays sometimes that are what allow you to be the team that comes out on top.
Are those the ingredients of learning how to win?
Yeah, I think so. And that's what we've tried to enhance in all of the conversations and all of the meetings is all of those plays. We've talked about things like men of the 10, right? And nobody understands what we're talking about. Not that they don't understand, but like whatever, coach, it's just coach speak, and you're just talking about things that you do. But then all of a sudden you watch how many people are racing to block for KC into the end zone, or how many blocks get thrown on a KC punt return, or things of that, or Marco Jones even doesn't make a play on the touchdown, but you've got a freshman defensive end running all the way to almost clip up Ahmad Hardy up 21 in the fourth quarter. Those things start to make it look like your kids are understanding what winning football looks like.
There was no guarantee that you were going to be in this position, but it's very similar to last year. You get to November. So finish, which has been the mantra, here's the month. And you did it for the first weekend in November. There was no guarantee, but are you proud of how they put themselves in this position and have this opportunity?
Yeah, it's funny. We talked about that in a little bit of a different light this morning. I said, so last year we got into November with everything on the line, and we didn't handle it the right way. And so then we had to learn, right? And we had to live and learn, and that's what had to happen. And so let's not get November right for 1 week this year and then have to live and learn next year. Right? And so, yes, we did. I'm proud of how they handled it. I'm certainly proud of how we handled a 3-game road trip. I said that in the locker room. These talking pundits can say whatever they want. Like, go look at history in this league. Who has gone on the road 3 straight weeks, 3 consecutive weeks with nothing in between, and won every one of those games in hostile SEC road environments, right? Like, that doesn't happen. Right. And so we're very proud of how we handled that. We listened to so much outside noise, from our own fans this offseason about our inability to go on the road and win, and this hasn't been a program that has won in tough environments, and how are we going to have a good season with all of these places we have to go? And so you're proud of those things, but right, it always has a but, right? Yeah. Every time you do something, there's now something else to do, right? And that next thing is more important than what was done before. And so because we did all of that, now we've set up a pretty exciting opportunity for us on Saturday. If this is any indication of what Kyle Field is going to look like Saturday morning, which I bet it is, it's a big opportunity for us to go out and go in front of that home crowd and finish this SEC slate off at home 4-0.
We are just getting started on the Aggie Football Hour with Mike Elko. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit, and that Saturday, it's an 11 o'clock kick, 11:07 foot to ball, 10 o'clock with our Memorial Herman pregame show. Ags, look out for opportunities this season for your chance to win Texas A&M prizes from the Texas Lottery. The Texas Lottery proudly supports Texas education and veterans. Remember, luck happens to people like Gabe Smetek, who keep a lookout for chances to win from the Texas Lottery. Gabe won Texas A&M prizes. You could too. Texas Lottery supports Texas education and veterans. Scratch 'em tickets and gig 'em. More, the Aggie Football Hour with Mike Elko, presented by Capital Farm Credit. When we return, this is Aggie Football from Learfield. Help Texas A&M become the national leader in this new era of college athletics by supporting Aggie NIL. It's the new comprehensive program that will maximize and facilitate third-party NIL opportunities for Aggie student-athletes. And whether you're a small business owner, an avid supporter, or a current NIL contributor, there's a role for every member of the 12th Man. Visit 12thman.com/AggieNIL and make a difference today. They have all checked in, Coach, already from these places, and I'm going to get to them in a little bit. Aunt Joanne in New Smyrna.
Oh, okay.
We're going to start with that. But where we start is when someone.
Joanne, how are you?
When someone travels 7,000 miles, Mohammed, who is the president of the A&M club in Qatar, is here this evening.
Yeah, he gets the first shout out. He gets the first shout out for sure. That's a heck of a trip, and
it really is.
It's good to know. So he was letting me know that a 3 o'clock kick is about 11 p.m. in Qatar.
Is that what? Oh.
And then you got to adjust from there. And so they're up overnight watching our night games. And
outstanding.
Apparently Italy, Qatar, like we are becoming global here at Texas A&M.
We really are. We really are. An international team.
It must be
now.
you. They tune in from all over the world to see you
That's
on
what
the
it is.
Radio show.
Yes. He said it. I have to agree. And Michael Rasmussen checked in from Lucas. What was it about Dalton Brooks that made him the right guy to run the fake punt?
I just think he's a tremendous athlete. He's been swearing to me for as long as I've been here that he played running back in high school. After he dropped the interception against LSU, I said, "No, you didn't." I said, "There's no way you played running back in high school." But no, he's a really talented athlete, and honestly, we've been practicing that pretty much every week since I've been here, and so we were able to get it run at the right time, and it's always looked good in practice. We've always felt really good about it, and the right time came up, and so we did it.
Albert wanted to hit somebody. Nana kept looking for someone to hit on that, didn't he?
No, it was good. It was good. We, obviously we got him in the right call, and sometimes those things just work out.
Does that set the tone now in the future, Mike, along the lines of teams have to prepare knowing that? I mean, you always know that teams may do that. Now, do they have to spend maybe a little bit more time on that over the course of the week?
Yeah, you would think so. And I chuckle with this because I talk to Coach Dougherty, our special teams coordinator, about this all the time. He always says, like, when you play some of those games early in the year, he's always like, hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? We can put some stuff on film. And I'm like, no, we're going to practice it, and we're going to use it at the right time. Like, we're going to use it at the right time against the right opponent. And so, in my opinion, you keep all of that stuff in-house. And, again, gosh, I can't tell you, we've probably repped that thing 45 times in practice since we've been here. And so, but nobody knows it because we haven't put it on tape at all. Right. And so, I think, there's a few other things that we've got that at the right time will kind of break out.
That's exciting. When you talk about the SEC honoring Cassius Howell and honoring Damian Sanford, don't want to think that this team does not, but you made a point on Monday that for the coaches, Tyreek Chappelle was huge. This was another week, Mike, that you took the opposition's best receiver out. Is that Tyreek, and is that why he's so valuable to this defense?
Yeah, it was certainly a big part of it, and I think, again, I think there's some things that we see when we watch the tape that maybe don't show up in the stat lines, and certainly when you play nickel and you're playing man-to-man on the other team's best receiver, there's not a lot of stats that can be had for you in the positive, right? So you're covering him. The best thing you could do is have him catch no balls, but there's not a stat for that benefits you in any way, shape, or form. And so, he did that. I think Kevin Coleman had one catch. It was a little shuffle pass that they threw to him in the backfield. And, he's a really, really talented receiver. He had a lot of yards against us last year when we played him in Mississippi State, and so that was a big piece of what we were trying to do.
How do you replicate? I'm gonna jump forward and then come back. How do you replicate in practice the size, strength, and physicality of a Lenora Sellers? Who's got to be Dylan Stewart? Who's got to be Nick Harbor during this practice week? And that's why you call out the scout guys first when you honor the players of the week.
For sure, and no disrespect to my scout guys, but I don't have anyone on my scout team who resembles either one of those two kids. I mean, both of those two kids from an athletic standpoint. I'd be an awful coach if I had someone who resembled those two kids athletically running around on my scout team. Or the best coach on the planet, and I'm neither of those, I don't think. So, it's hard. I mean, it's a real challenge, obviously, and we spent a lot of time. I think it's like everything. I do think our kids have a much better understanding. We said a lot of things about how we had to tackle him last year. Obviously, none of that worked, and we didn't execute any of it the way we wanted to. But when that happens now, you have everyone's attention, right? And so everything that you see gets well received, gets a little bit more of a heightened awareness. And again, that doesn't guarantee us anything because this kid is an extremely talented football player. But I do think we have a little bit better understanding of what we're going up against than maybe we did last year, coming off of an LSU win, thinking that everything was going to go a certain way, and then realizing in the middle of that game that it doesn't work like that.
Where this is a team that has come back, Mike, and realizes, okay, what just happened on that drive? And if they scored, okay, what comes next?
Yeah.
They're very good at that, are they not?
Yeah, and there's just, there's just a maturity. The two things that we have that are going really well for us right now is, one, there's a maturity, and that comes with experience, and that only comes with experience. No matter how much you preach this to freshmen and sophomores, they're immature. That's just the nature of what we deal with. And you get some juniors, seniors, some fifth-year guys in your program who've been through it before. That helps, for sure. And then, obviously, what we went through last year helps, and again, nobody wanted to hear that last year, and I didn't want to say it because it's not a good thing to say. That's not how we live and own anything, but it is. We had to experience that as a program at some point, and I think people maybe had forgotten how long it had been since we were in one of those types of situations down the stretch. And so, through every adversity comes an opportunity to grow, and hopefully we did that, and hopefully we'll continue to show that we've done that.
A reminder that Saturday, coaches wear maroon. It's a maroon out Saturday, Kyle Field, and the Aggies take on South Carolina at 11 o'clock. More of the Aggie Football Hour with Mike Elko. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit. When we return to Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station, this is Aggie Football from Learfield. 12th Man, the annual Aggies Canned Food Drive is back and is celebrating 25 years. Texas A&M student-athletes need your help in collecting monetary and canned good donations to benefit the Brazos Valley Food Bank and the 12th Can. So from November 14th through November 18th, you can drop off canned goods at Aggie Athletic home events. That includes in the fan zone at the Aggie football game against South Carolina on Saturday. For full details and to donate, visit 12thman.com/AggiesCan. Our thanks to Brookshire Brothers and H-E-B for their sponsorship of Aggies Can. So we have Annie is in Buffalo, and Annie will be flying in to watch the game on Saturday. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. They put me back on.
Hey, Kevin Minshaw's our engineer tonight here.
Nice work, Kevin. Falling asleep at the wheel over there. I bet the weather is going to be a lot nicer here on Saturday than it will be in Buffalo.
Someone sent me a photo from the Syracuse area, or a video, Syracuse area, driving through snow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We had our 2 days of fall.
Yeah.
Was that earlier?
Yeah, it's over now. It's going to be 80 and sunny on Saturday, so welcome back to Texas.
Absolutely. Mike, I want to ask you about, in conjunction with this offensive line and what they did Saturday. Trey Zune going from left tackle to center, Deuce fitting in beautifully, Mark Nebu moving over to the right. This entire offensive line came back. A lot of guys came back, and the right guys came back. They bet on themselves, did they not?
Yeah, and I think I think there's so much that goes into that. I think, one, obviously, we appreciate the belief in the culture. I think that's a big part of it. I think that we try to talk in our program a lot about if you're in a place and you're comfortable and you're growing and you're developing in the way that you want to, just be careful, because that's not everywhere. And so that helped. A lot of them are just great Aggies. You know, you look at a kid like Deuce Fothery and Trey Zune, and, those kids are, Crown Over.
Yeah.
Like, those kids are just lifelong great Aggies who've been here through the ups and downs and believed in what we were capable of doing. And then, again, we talk so much about competition within our program, and, we give reps to people who earn reps. And whether that's 5 O-linemen, 6 O-linemen, 7 O-linemen, and everybody wants to say all the time, like, we don't have enough depth. We don't have enough depth. Well, we look at it the other way. Like, we have to make a commitment to playing the kids who earn the plays, right? And then that's something Coach Cushing and I talk about. And so everyone goes, why do you play 7 guys? If you're playing 7, you don't have 5. No, we do. We have 7.
Yeah.
We have 7 that earn the right to play, and maybe even a few more that are battling to try to get into it. And so what that does is it makes kids want to be part of your program. 2, it keeps kids going and practicing and developing all year because they know they're going to be on the field on Saturday. And then when situations occur where an Ahmad Reed Adams goes down because he can't go anymore, everyone talks about this shift that happened, but that shift has happened every game for the last 5 games. Every game for the last 5 since Deuce came back, that group has been out there configured like that at some point during the game, and certainly a lot during practice. So it wasn't a shift to us. It just was, Armaj is down, you're in. The kids just knew where they were going. That's why you do it like that.
Yeah.
And as long as, and we tell them all the time, like, we're not going to do it we're not going to just play you if the level's going to drop. Right. But if the level is where it needs to be, and we're fortunate enough to have multiple guys who can play, it's good for everybody. It's just good for everybody. And
then next level, as you talked about, there's only so many offensive linemen that an NFL team will carry. Versatility is huge next level. That was evidence when Kenyon Green was drafted, right? Because he could play different positions. This is just benefiting them as well.
No, for sure. And I don't think a lot of people understand that, like, on game day on Sunday in the NFL, there are 7 or 8 offensive linemen dressed. That's it. And those 7 or 8 are playing. And so if somebody gets injured in game, that backup isn't just your backup. There's multiple positions. There's position flexibility. Everybody wants a center. Everybody wants guys who can snap. The more guys that you can snap and play other positions, the better off it is. And so, that was a big selling point we made to Trey. And I'm not sure he even at the time we were talking about it last year knew what we were really saying to him. But, like, Trey, we're going to make you play center some. We're going to get you comfortable at center. Even if you don't ever play it in a game, The scouts will see it in practice. They'll know you can do it, and that's going to enhance your value. And so maybe if you go out this year, you're a 4th or 5th, but you can go out next year as a late 1st, 2nd, like who knows where it goes, because that flexibility means so much to the NFL value proposition.
When I said they came back and bet on themselves, are you also proud of what you did in that first year for them to come back and say, yeah, I want to be a part of this. I want to continue the winning and the success?
Yeah, for sure. And we talk all the time. Derek's here somewhere, I think. Where's Derek? There he is over there. Derek runs this. Give Derek a round of applause, everybody, please.
He's trying to hide over there.
Yeah, I see him hiding. But for all the people that are on the field that you really like, doing really good things for Aggies that weren't here when we got here, he was about 80% responsible for finding most of them. So Derek's the key to it all. Yeah, you can give him another round of applause. But what were we talking about? We talk about the transfer portal all the time. That the number one objective is to keep our players out of it.
Yes.
The players that we want to be Aggies, the number one goal of the transfer portal is to make sure none of them go in it. Right, we want the kids who fit us, that fit what we're doing, who are part of what we're trying to build, part of our championship build that we're trying to put together. We want them here until they go to the NFL. Yeah. And that's the system that we want. And again, this is another one that people don't talk about because it's so flashy when kids transfer. But the reality of it is, and this is our reality too, the best teams are built by kids who have been in the program for a long time. Then you go add these supplemental pieces, right? You find a KC, you find a Mario, you find a TJ Searcy, you find a Cash. Like you find these supplemental pieces that fill into what you have holes or what you need to grow and develop, and that's where you get really good.
Right.
You don't bring in 22 new starters and hope that it all gels together because you never know how it's going to go. And we had to do that a little bit more first year. We did that a little bit less. We were way more targeted. And I think if you look at the kids we brought in the transfer portal for year 2, it's probably about an 85% rate of kids that are impacting and helping us win football games right now.
Playing alongside, you talk at D-line, you bring in Tyler, but he's playing along Albert.
And
DJ Hicks is growing. Rylan Kennedy on that outside. And now starting, here's Marco Jones, a freshman.
Correct.
Getting to watch all of that.
Right. And he's finding his way. And then you look at Landon Rink is starting.
Yes.
And so you have this 3-layered. You have guys who have been with us. You have this group of veterans that you had to bring in to fill some holes that existed in the roster. But then you still have this youth movement that is there and just kind of, we talk about they're in the incubator a little bit and they're practicing and they're growing. And some of them are now starting to sprout up and grow. And you see Landon Rink, and you see Marco Jones, and you see Jamarian Morrow and Noah McHale. And here's some freshman players who have earned out TK Norman against LSU. Mm-hmm. Here's some freshman players that are kind of popping on the scene. We have those guys too, and they're there, and they'll be ready to go when their number's called and their time is right.
The bridge is next. I'm going to take the next 2 segments because it's really, really crowded.
Yeah, we're gonna walk around here. I'm gonna do this just to make sure that we can try to do this. I'm gonna try to get out and take as many pictures and shake as many hands as I can. I'm just gonna ask that I can't sign. I got to get around to as many people as I can, so they're not going to let me sign anything. But we'll take pictures, we'll shake hands. Certainly appreciate everybody coming. You do your thing on the bridge.
You enjoy. It's Tori in York this week.
Oh, good. We'll listen to Tori in a little bit, have some fun. You might need a few segments to get through this crowd.
Got it. He is the head coach, Fighting Texas Aggies, Mike Elko. It's the Aggie Football Hour with Mike Elko, and it's presented by Capital Farm Credit. And our thanks, Pat Shields has checked in from Capital Farm Credit. He's here in Rudy's. The Bridge is brought to you by Capital Farm Credit. That's next. It's Tori in York. This is Aggie Football from Learfield. Thanks to the generosity of 12th Man Foundation donors, Aggie student athletes have the resources to succeed at Texas A&M and beyond. Start your tradition of support today at 12thmanfoundation.com. It's time for The Bridge, and it's brought to you by Capital Farm Credit, the Aggie Football Hour, and The Bridge, brought to you by Capital Farm Credit, the largest agricultural lender in Texas. Capital Farm Credit, together, we're better. Best thing I heard today. Linebacker Torian York crediting his father for his work ethic and his family for his dedication.
My dad works 2 jobs. he sleeps in his work clothes. He wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't get off till 10 because he owns his own barbershop. So I get that work ethic from him. And we started watching film week 1 of my 8th grade season. So that must have been 2018. So from that point on, I've been watching film ever since. My family came from Mexico. This year must be the 56th year that we've been in the States. So I definitely use that on days where I feel like not waking up, coming up to the facility, putting in the work that I know I should be putting in. And there's a lot of women in my life as well that just wake up every day, but even when they don't want to go to work. So that's why I'm up here grinding from sun up to sundown to make sure they never have to work again.
He's unbelievable. You'll hear more of Torian as well as Marcel Reed during our Memorial Hermann pregame show. That will begin at 10 o'clock. That will be Saturday from Kyle Field when the Aggies take on South Carolina. More as we preview that game coming up in our next segment of the Aggie Football Hour with Mike Elko, presented by Capital Farm Credit. A reminder that Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP Aggie basketball fan experience this year. Go to 12thman.com/maroon contest and register. A winner and a guest receive game tickets, a VIP tour of Reed Arena. You'll be recognized on the video board during the game. 12thman.com/maroon contest is where you register. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance is a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. More of the Aggie Football Hour with Mike Elko. It's presented by Capital Farm Credit. Stay with us. This is Aggie Football from Learfield. Howdy Ags, score a taste touchdown at your next tailgate with Hellman's Real Mayonnaise, the official mayonnaise of Texas A&M Athletics. Do dip with Hellman's and do no wrong. Our friend Sandy Nye is listening in a taxi. She's in Italy. Ryan Price, who's the president of the A&M club in Italy, he's always checking in. He checked in Saturday during football, Sunday during basketball. He's checked in today. We have Lago Vista, Grapevine, Troy, Alexandria, Louisiana. Team York is checking in all the way from Michigan. Yes, his mom has checked in. Aunt Joanne has checked in. New South Wales, Australia. Cloudcroft, New Mexico. Hanahan, South Carolina. The state of Maryland has checked in. Lakeland, Florida. Tampa, Florida. Miami, Florida. And in Texas, it's Carthage, Lufkin, UBell. College Station, Wichita Falls, Tyler, Malakoff, Lucas, Dripping Springs, Temple, and New Braunfels. This is where we tell you what is next. 11 o'clock on Saturday, the Aggies taking on South Carolina. 10 o'clock with our Memorial Hermann pregame show. You will hear more of Torian York, and you will hear from Marcel Reed as well as Coach Elko before the game. Now, we're a little bit late. It's a little bit tardy, but better late than never. And through the generosity, stand up. Outstanding. Brought a cake. This is for Michelle, even though it's been a couple weekends ago. The cake is here. Looks and smells fantastic. As we go to break, all of us at Rudy's, happy birthday to Michelle. Get started. Make it loud. Happy birthday, Michelle. This is for you. Happy birthday, my friend. And I know it's not your birthday, but it was. But he said he missed it, so he wanted to bring you a cake. Yeah. So he wanted to bring you one. Happy birthday as we go to break. Start singing. We'll be back. This is Aggie Football from Learfield. When you need a new roof or just have a pesky leak, you want to call on the winning team at Schulte Roofing, home of the bulletproof roof guarantee. Get the best. Visit SchulteRoofing.com. Cake is about to be served. Just let you know, Michelle has her cake. It is about to be served. She's going to take it all around Rudy's. This is where we tell you that Tony O'Neill is the producer of the Aggie Football Hour and Aggie Football. Nah, we're good. We're good. I get paid to do things like this, Kat. I mean, most of the time I have partners on these shows, but he's still indisposed. Tony O'Neill's our producer. Kevin Menchow, who hates to be mentioned, or he doesn't like to mess up. He is our engineer here as well for football.
You know I have to cut back when Andrew gets on the mic and starts talking really slow in order to buy me time. So
where's Mike?
But we're very appreciative of all the people out here.
This
tonight.
is outstanding. This is outstanding. Yeah, round of applause for yourselves because it's been great since week number 1.
Yeah, it has been.
And you make it a point every single – and again, I'm not saying this because, hey, look at what a good guy. You absolutely do appreciate that. You appreciate Saturdays in Kyle Field. You appreciate the Aggies who go on the road. You appreciate all of it, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think it's the things that make it worth it. Is when you know that you are being supported by people who care so passionately about the university, and that you're putting a product together that the people who have supported this program so passionately are really proud of. And I think when all of that comes together, that's a big piece of college athletics. And so it means a lot to me that people come out. It means a lot to me for the 12th man to support us the way they do. And it means a lot to me that the program represents what they want it to represent right now.
When you talked about the transfers coming in or the recruits coming in, and we talk about fit, it's more than just the talent. They have to fit A&M. They've got to be someone the 12th man can be proud of, correct?
Yeah, and it's that comes in a lot of different ways, and we know that. But at the end of the day, we base Texas A&M around selfless service, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's about that teamwork and the camaraderie that goes into a culture that can build success. And that's what we're looking for, right? And in this day and age of NIL and all of the things that come along with it, I tell our guys this all the time: don't ever make me make a choice between you and culture, because you will lose all the time if I have to make that decision. And so, and they respect it. Like, they respect how we go about it. They respect how we handle things. They respect honesty and being upfront about it. And it's a really good time to be a fighting Texas Aggie right now.
Your former players are loyal to you because of the way you coach them. They learn it. But you've also seen that 18 become 22 and feel all of that this university gives to them, do you not?
Yeah, for sure. And what we've started to crack the code on getting them back. Dan Moore was at the game Saturday, and he looked like he was ready to go. I was trying to steal a few snaps from him when we were getting the second half. We needed to run the ball. I was like, hey, why don't you go throw some pants on? We'll throw you in 52 and see what happens. But no, it was great to see him. Jay Sternberger was out at practice a couple weeks ago. We had Ricky Seals-Jones, if I have that name right, back here for a practice. And I just think the more guys that get back and around the program, the better it is, because that's when it's really fun, right? It's really fun when the fan base is excited, but it's really fun when the players who paved the way for this to become what it became can come and enjoy it too. And so we'd love to see those guys.
It's nice to see that present and the past, this team doing things that 92 did or 94, and that's R.C. Slocum's squad. Or it's Casey and Mario doing things since Christian Kirk or Mike Evans, right? Things like that. Cassius Howe, Myles Garrett, Von Miller. Yeah. It's nice to be able to have that blend, isn't it?
And it's what the elite programs across the country are built like, and it's what we're trying to build here, which is it's almost a generational thing, right? That once an Aggie, always an Aggie as a football player too, and making sure that kind of crosses every single piece of what we do here.
Final segment of Aggie Football Hour with Mike Elko, presented by Capital Farm Credit. When we return, it's Aggie Football from Learfield. Rudy's is a proud sponsor of Aggie Football. Be sure to stop by your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com for some real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoke meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. Tomorrow, Reed Arena, women's basketball, 11 o'clock. They've got the 11 a.m. game. That is the elementary school game. Men's basketball Friday at 7 against UCF. And volleyball, number 6 in the country, swept Florida today on the road. 9 consecutive wins. They will be at Reed Arena Sunday, 12 noon, hosting Georgia. That is the last regular season home game until they start hosting in the postseason.
Until they host in the postseason, right? In which place we'll be back to the Pac Reed.
And if this man can be there, he will be there, because, what is it, 2 sets?
I'm 2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
I love it.
Yeah. I feel as though they might need me come playoff time. We'll see. I'm just kidding.
Can I get on Bucky's case for losing a game before you did?
I'm gonna punt that one, and I'm gonna let you handle that one.
You got it. I will. I'm saying him tomorrow.
Yeah, so that was all Andrew, Bucky. If you're out there, if anyone's the Twitter army, if you're tweeting this,
that was me.
Make sure that was Andrew.
That was
not
me.
Coach Elko.
Absolutely. After Missouri and their front four and those edges, here's South Carolina with. They were able to keep Dylan Stewart. I know a lot of schools were there. They keep him, that edge. Those matchups within the matchups. your offensive line, but those tackles against those edges become one of those matchups that will be key on Saturday, will it not?
Yeah, I think these edges, everybody's got edges. These edges are a little bit of a cut above, and Dylan Stewart's the best one we've seen so far this year, and he's unbelievably athletic and dynamic on the edge as a rusher, and our ability again to try to keep pockets clean for Marcel will be critical, and not allow their D-line to take over the game like they're capable of doing.
You use the word embarrassed. You're not afraid to use the word embarrassed about what happened last year, are you?
I am not. That was probably the nicest way I've described it this week. That was for the media and for all the fans to hear, and so I've used some other words behind closed doors. But listen, part of what we've talked about is we own who we are and we own our reality. And the reality is we did not play a very good game at South Carolina last year, and they made a lot more plays than we did, and that stings. And we have an opportunity Saturday. I told our guys, you don't often get opportunities to rewrite scripts, and we're fortunate that we have an opportunity Saturday in a game that means an awful lot to us to rewrite a script. And so that doesn't, just because we want it doesn't mean anything, but we got to put in the work. But that's certainly going to be a piece of the motivational factor. And
it can't be just the revenge, because that emotion burns out after a couple of minutes, right? You rely on who you are. You play to your identity, correct?
Yeah, no, we talk about just kind of creating an enhanced focus. I think that's what, in our mind, I actually made. I'm sorry, so maybe the fans will appreciate this one. There's a great boxing analogy I gave the guys the other day. I'm a big Roy Jones Jr. fan. And Roy Jones Jr. early in his career, when he was hungry and coming up, had lost the fight to Montrell Griffin, and was very disappointed with the outcome. Went back to work, really trained, really focused, really locked in. And in one of the worst beatings in a non-heavyweight fight, knocked him out in the first round. And then you look at a later Roy Jones Jr. who got knocked out by Antonio Tarver and didn't really go back to work, just kind of wanted it to be better, and got knocked out again, and then got knocked out. And so, just because you get a rematch and you want success really doesn't actually get you anything. You've got to do things differently. You've got to train differently. You've got to focus differently. You've got to do the things differently in order to give yourself an opportunity to go out and change the result.
Yeah, back to your point, it's not going to change unless you do something about it. And that's back to what you were saying, the sleds and the work in the dark, and the extra reps, all of that.
Yeah, and what we talk about is hopefully, and you hear our guys use words like personal, and what we talk about with that is, okay, well, if it's personal, then you'll invest more. Right? If my desire to get this job done means I'm going to feed my family, or I'm going to get an opportunity, or if it's really personal, and what personal really means is you're going to do everything you can to prepare to make sure that you have success. And that's what that means to us. Not, we say it's personal on Monday and we show up on Saturday and we hope it goes the way we want it to go.
Yeah, hope's not a strategy.
That's not a strategy.
Not at all. Hey, beat the hell out of South Carolina.
Yeah, we're going to try. And thank you for everyone who came out tonight. Thank you for the 12th man all year. Thankful for the group that showed up in Como last weekend. And it was another Saturday where their fans were gone and our fans were celebrating at the end. And there's nothing better than those moments at the end. And just as a reminder, Saturday is the last SEC game in Kyle Field this year. And so let's make it an unbelievable one. Let's be there 11. Let's be there on time. And let's have Kyle Field rocking for this early kick.
Coach, as always, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all so much. Thanks, and gig 'em.
He's the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies. That is Mike Elko. And on Saturday, it is an 11 o'clock kick. Football at 11:07 when the Aggies take on the 3-6 Gamecocks. We will join you at 10 o'clock with our Memorial Hermann pregame show. Dave, Will, and I will be on at 10. We get you set for the Aggies and the Gamecocks on Saturday. Tony O'Neill's our producer. Kevin Menchow is our engineer. For head coach Mike Elko, I'm Andrew Monaco. For all of you who have checked in, joined us here live at Rudy's, as always, thank you. Thanks and gig 'em. This is Aggie Football from Learfield.
You've been listening to the Aggie Football Hour, brought to you by Capital Farm Credit, a leader in agricultural financing. Also brought to you in part by Coors Light, Mountain Cold Refreshment. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit rudys.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. Twisted Tea, hard iced tea for the 12th man. Please drink responsibly. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Texas. Through it all. And by Capital Farm Credit. Together, we're better. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Texas A&M Sports Network.